He can wrestle. He's got very good jiu-jitsu. He hits hard, and he's a big, durable dude. But I don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle with that guy. Like, I don't know, man. The Khamzat's skill is so high level, it makes me wonder. Khamzat's a freak, man.
How about,
especially at 170.
Dude, but he can't make the weight. He's too unreliable.
He just needs to be a little bit more disciplined. Bro, 170, he's almost unstoppable. Even when Gilbert caught him on the noggin multiple times and dropped him, remember?
Yep.
Still kept going. Like, that guy never stopped coming.
Khamzat just shoots from like 15 feet away and gets a hold of your
But
legs.
and you got to think his endurance is probably going to be better at 85 than it was at 70 because of the cut for Khamzat. It's like 85 is really where he should have been all along.
Joe Rogan shares shocking insights on Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus Du Plessis, stating the DDP has no chance against Khamzat. However, Daniel Cormier shared his excitement about the upcoming fight, saying it is a great matchup. He pointed out that if you want to upset Khamzat, just call him scared because he reacts quickly and aggressively. Cormier believes DDP's awkward style and ability to create strange angles make this a much tougher fight than people expect. He said that a few fights ago, most fans might have thought Khamzat would dominate, but anyone who still thinks that way does not understand mixed martial arts. He is confident this will be a close and entertaining bout that is worth watching.
Yeah, I think it's a great fight, and you're right. You want to piss off Khamzat, call him scared. You want to make Chimaev mad, call him afraid of anything, and he'll come at you like a bat out of hell. I think it's a great fight. I think Dricus's awkward ability and his ability to create different angles to make you not recognize what you're seeing makes it a much tougher fight than most people may anticipate. Couple fights ago, everybody would have thought Khamzat would just run through Dricus Du Plessis. But if you today feel that way, you're out of your mind. If you today can openly say Khamzat Chimaev is just going to run through Dricus Du Plessis and is not going to be competitive, you have no idea what mixed martial arts is. This is going to be a fun fight.
Cormier also mentioned that while DDP and Khamzat do not have a shared training background like Strickland and Khamzat did, the tension between them is clear. Their completely different styles and personalities will create an interesting clash inside the cage and will also make the build-up exciting. He believes their dislike for each other will bring extra intensity to an already strong matchup.
I think that these two guys, we know that these two guys don't like each other. We don't have the backdrop of them training prior like Strickland and Khamzat had, but you could tell they don't like each other. They are so completely different. And I think in that different is going to make for not only a good fight, but also a very fun build-up to the fight.
However, Joe Rogan described Khamzat Chimaev as a freak, especially at 170 pounds, but noted that he struggles with making weight and needs to be more disciplined. He said that at 170, Khamzat is almost unstoppable. Even when Gilbert struck him hard and knocked him down multiple times, Khamzat kept pushing forward and never stopped coming.
Khamzat's a freak, man. Especially at 170.
Dude, but he can't make the weight. He's too unreliable.
He just needs to be a little bit more disciplined. Bro, 170, he's almost unstoppable. Even when Gilbert caught him on the noggin multiple times and dropped him, remember?
Yep.
Still kept going. Like, that guy never stopped coming.
Moreover, Dricus Du Plessis spoke with confidence about Khamzat Chimaev, saying that while Khamzat is strong, he has never dealt with the kind of power Dricus brings. He said Khamzat is like a gun, but he sees himself as a tank. Dricus believes no middleweight can match his strength, and once the fight moves into the second round, he expects things to go his way without much trouble.
The Khamzat fight's what I want. I want to take this. It's not even a doubt in my mind. Khamzat is a strong guy, but I know for a fact that he's never felt power like this. In this case, he has a gun and I have a tank when it comes to the strength. So there's not a middleweight that's going to overpower me. It's not going to happen. Once it goes past round 2, it's going to be smooth sailing.
On the other hand, Khamzat Chimaev said he is interested in seeing how Dricus Du Plessis performs as a champion and what his journey has looked like so far. He raised questions about how Dricus would deal with grappling, especially since Robert Whittaker was able to take him down. Khamzat admitted that Dricus is a tough fighter, but expressed doubt about how he would hold up against top-level grapplers.
Wanted to get your thoughts on Dricus as a champion, his run so far, and what do you make of his grappling?
What do you think, guys? How I done with this guy, Rob? How he done? Rob took him down. So if Rob took him down, so there is salam alaikum.
However, Joe Rogan further added that Dricus Du Plessis is a strong and tough fighter with good wrestling and jiu-jitsu skills, and he hits hard. However, Rogan expressed doubt about whether Du Plessis can match Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling, noting that Khamzat's skill level is so high it makes him wonder if anyone can keep up with him in that area.
He can wrestle, he's got very good jiu-jitsu, he hits hard, and he's a big, durable dude. But I don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle with that guy. Like, I don't know, man. The Khamzat's skill is so high level, it makes me wonder.
Moreover, Dricus Du Plessis complimented Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling, calling it world-class and outstanding. He also gave credit to other top fighters like Israel Adesanya for his striking and Sean Strickland for his boxing, saying their records show how skilled they are. Still, he pointed out that this sport is not about just one skill like wrestling or striking, because it is mixed martial arts.
His wrestling is world-class, it's phenomenal. But so is Israel Adesanya striking, right? And so is Sean Strickland's boxing, world class. Adesanya striking, world class. His kickboxing record speaks for itself. This is not striking, this is not wrestling, this is not grappling, this is MMA.
DDP also made it clear that even though he respects Khamzat's abilities, his goal is to prove he is the greatest of all time, and he is ready to do whatever it takes to show that when they fight. He admitted Khamzat has looked impressive and lived up to the hype with his wrestling, but DDP believes how good someone looks depends on who they are facing. He said he will not let Khamzat have those moments in the cage. He finished by saying that while he might let an opponent look good for a moment, he will never let them win, no matter how skilled they are.
Yes, I do think his wrestling is phenomenal. But when the night comes, it's not about teaching him a lesson. It's about proving once again that I will be the greatest of all time. And doing whatever I have to prove that. Because, yes, I know his wrestling is great. It is, 100%. He's proven that. I mean, look at his performances. But you're only as good as your opponent lets you. And I won't let you look good. I can let you look good, but I can't let you win, unfortunately.
Joe Rogan lastly said that Khamzat is the best wrestler because he can shoot from about 15 feet away and still grab your leg. He also mentioned that Khamzat's endurance will probably be better at 185 pounds than it was at 170 due to the tough weight cut, and that 185 is really the weight class where Khamzat should have been all along.
Khamzat just shoots from like 15 feet away and gets a hold of your leg.
And you got to think his endurance is probably going to be better at 85 than it was at 70 because of the cut for Khamzat. Is like 85 is really where he should have been all along.
However, Dricus Du Plessis shared his thoughts on his upcoming fight with Khamzat Chimaev, predicting that while Khamzat will manage to take him down, the real challenge will be keeping him there. He said he is comfortable on the ground and believes he can take Khamzat down as well. Dricus stressed that avoiding the ground is a mistake many opponents make against Khamzat, but he feels confident in his own ground game and is ready to battle there.
Is Khamzat going to be able to take me down? Absolutely. Absolutely, he'll be able to take me down. This is how a fight works. I would hope so. Isn't he like some Swedish champion or something? I would hope he could take me down. But then he has to deal with me on the ground, and he has to keep me there. Can I take Khamzat down? Absolutely. Am I going to take Khamzat down? Absolutely. I'm not scared of Khamzat wrestling. I'm not evading. I'm not trying to stay off the ground with Khamzat. That's the mistake everybody makes.
In another interview, Dricus acknowledged Khamzat's talent but pointed out that he has not faced many elite fighters outside of Robert Whittaker. He said their fight will not be just a grappling match and that he performs best when all skills, grappling, wrestling, and striking are combined. He also mentioned that Khamzat has not even secured a title shot at welterweight, suggesting that stepping in against him at middleweight will be an entirely new and difficult test.
Khamzat is an incredible fighter. Nobody has been able to beat him, but he hasn't fought anybody of note other than Robert Whittaker. That is it. This is not a grappling competition. I am not the best grappler or wrestler or striker. When we mix it all up, I am. That's why I have this. He couldn't even get a title at welterweight. Now he wants to come to middleweight. Great, let's go.
However, Ilia Topuria shared his respect for both Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis, describing Khamzat as a relentless fighter who always pushes for a finish rather than relying on decisions. He said Khamzat has earned the right to fight for the title as soon as possible. While Ilia is friends with both men and values his relationships with them, he views their possible fight as a thrilling matchup from a fan's perspective and wished both of them the best.
He's a savage. He calls him his shots, he finishes his opponents. When he goes inside the octagon, you know that that guy goes for the finish. he's not looking for the decision. That's why I respect Khamzat. He's a fucking beast. So he deserves to fight for the title as soon as possible. We're gonna have an amazing fight because I love Dricus Du Plessis. He's a great human being. I have a great relationship with him. I have a great relationship with Khamzat also. But as a fan of mixed martial arts, it's gonna be a very exciting fight. I hope the best man wins, and I wish best of the luck to both of them.
Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson gave his thoughts on the middleweight title fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis, saying that managing the pace will be a big factor. He feels Du Plessis has the upper hand in striking if he can keep the fight on the feet and stay away from Chimaev's grappling. Johnson noted that Chimaev has looked tired in later rounds before, and believes Du Plessis' unusual striking style could give him an advantage. Still, he acknowledged Chimaev's wrestling is dangerous and said Du Plessis will need to stay ready to defend it the whole time.
If Chimaev cannot get him down,
he will. But yeah.
But let's say he does get him down.
Yep.
And he doesn't finish him, right? I think he's spent. Because you look at his fights. You look when he fought Gilbert Burns, when he fought Kamaru Usman. He had Kamaru Usman fully mounted, back hooks and everything, right?
Yep.
Working for the choke, pounding him, could not finish him,
Couldn't go.
The rest of the time, he could not find it was shadow boxer. Granted, he might be sick or whatever, but if he cannot figure it out within those first 2 rounds or the first round he gets him down, I think DDP is gonna do what he does best. He's gonna be awkward. He's gonna be do the kicks, and I think DDP is gonna beat him.
Yeah,
like I
could see it.
think Khamzat Chimaev is more athletic, more traditional, but I think that awkwardness of the old what did he say? The lanky man style. I think DDP is gonna put in the bag.
Coach Eric Nixon spoke highly of Dricus Du Plessis, saying he has studied him a lot and finds him very respectful and well coached. He praised DDP's overall growth, noting that he has made big improvements. Nixon explained that from the fight with Brad to now being a world champion, some people think DDP's style looks unpredictable, but it is actually very calculated. He said DDP repeats many of the same moves, but with a unique rhythm that is hard to read. Nixon emphasized that to beat him, you have to find a way to stop his flow and put him on his back.
I'm so curious how Khamzat and DDP plays out. I feel like DDP's going to be able to weather the storm the first 2 rounds and then start taking off the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. What do you think?
I do too. I've studied DDP a bunch. Super respectful, nice guy. He's very well coached. Just his overall development, he's jumped leaps and bounds in between that Brad fight to now being world champion. People think it looks erratic, but it's not. It's very calculated what he's trying to do. It's a lot of those same reps that he does, but there's a motion to him that's kind of hard to gather rhythm. How do you eliminate all that shit? Take a guy down, put him on his back.
Bo Nickel expressed confidence that Khamzat Chimaev holds the advantage over Dricus Du Plessis because of his strong grappling. As a grappler himself, Nickel admitted he might be biased, but stressed that wrestling and grappling are major forces in today's MMA. He mentioned fighters like Merab, Islam, Belal, and Khamzat as examples of how grappling is shaping the sport, also noting that strikers such as Robert Whittaker come from wrestling backgrounds. Nickel believes this style is tough to beat or defend against in modern MMA.
You know, just based on the styles, I just think the grappling style, I might be biased. I'm definitely biased, but I think the grappling style is so hard to beat, and it's so hard to defend against. And I guess if you look at it from a analytical point of view, you have so many. It's really become the dominant force in the sport. You got Merab, you got Islam, you got Belal, you got Khamzat, you even have you can even look at Topuria. Obviously people know he's more of a boxing style and he does a lot more striking, but his background is wrestling. He did that before anything else. And so it's really wrestlers that are dominating, grapplers that are dominating the sport right now. And so I think that I would give the edge to Khamzat.
Nickel also pointed out that while Khamzat has been dominant, he has never been tested in the later rounds. Unlike Dricus, who has shown he can fight deep into matches, he suggested that if the fight goes into the 4th or 5th round, Dricus might have an advantage and a chance to win. Still, Nickel believes grappling will be the deciding factor and gives the edge to Khamzat because of his superior wrestling and grappling skills.
But we still have yet to see Khamzat ever fight a a 4th and a 5th round. We've seen that from DDP, and so that's where he would have the advantage. You know, if it goes deep, 4th and 5th round, I think that DDP might be able to pull it out. But you know, all in all, I think the grappling style is definitely an overwhelming style to try to deal with.
Caio Borralho expressed strong belief that Khamzat Chimaev will beat Dricus Du Plessis, pointing out a common mistake fighters make when preparing for Chimaev. He explained that many train against traditional wrestlers to stop takedowns, but Chimaev's MMA wrestling is different. It combines striking, pressure, and unusual movements, which makes it much harder to defend against. Borralho emphasized that to stop Chimaev, fighters need more than basic takedown defense, as they must study his timing, patterns, and overall style. Without this deep preparation, he thinks Du Plessis will likely struggle against Chimaev's power and unpredictability.
Khamzat fighting against Dricus. Who do you think he wins?
I think Khamzat is gonna win because I don't see anyone preparing properly for Khamzat. They are bringing wrestlers to train them to defend takedowns and all that, but Khamzat doesn't do the normal stuff. Khamzat doesn't do wrestling. He does MMA wrestling. It's different. You need to understand his system, what he wants next. You need to understand this first, and then you start to prepare for him. And I think Khamzat is gonna win for Dricus.
Darren Till confidently forecasted that Khamzat Chimaev would finish Dricus Du Plessis inside 2 rounds, commending Khamzat's strength, concentration, and dedication. Although he recognized Dricus' effort and unorthodox fighting style, Till feels Chimaev's complete skill set is in a different league. He also mentioned a recent video chat with Khamzat where they talked about Till possibly joining Khamzat's training camp in Dubai. The conversation ended with some playful teasing between Till and Ariel Helwani about fitness and looks.
You think he beats Khamzat, your boy?
No, look, with respect, I'm never going to look past Dricus because he trains hard, he's super dedicated, he's super strong, and he's got that awkward style that doesn't make any sense. I think Khamzat will beat him inside the 2 rounds. I really do believe that. But look, Khamzat knows. I was speaking to Khamzat on the FaceTime the other day because I'm meant to be going out to Dubai to help with the camp. Khamzat knows it's a tough fight, but you know, Khamzat trains like a beast. I do think Khamzat gets it in 2 rounds done.
Sean Strickland shared his thoughts on the potential bout between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev, focusing mainly on the grappling element. He mentioned that although Chimaev officially fights for Sweden, his wrestling technique is heavily influenced by Chechen wrestling, a style Strickland is familiar with through his own training. He acknowledged that athletes with this background are challenging opponents, but expressed confidence that the right strategy can counter their wrestling. Strickland believes if Du Plessis can neutralize Chimaev's wrestling and control the match, Dricus has a chance to win decisively.
So those little Chechen, I don't want to say Chechen, like Chechen, Swedish, but those little Chechen whore, like, dude, they can grapple. And like someone like me, who I've been training with these for years, I usually could counter wrestle and grapple them. So I just don't know if Dricus can be able to counter wrestle him.
Yeah.
But if he can, I think he wins all hands down, you know. I've sparred the Chechen whore, like hands down, I think Dricus wins.
However, Strickland's commentary was overshadowed by a controversial remark he made, where he used offensive language about Chimaev and others from similar backgrounds, linking it to Chimaev's Muslim religion. This comment drew significant backlash for being inflammatory and biased, with many condemning it as xenophobic and Islamophobic. While Strickland offered valuable analysis on the fight, his statement caused controversy and distracted from his technical observation.
Are you going to be able to, like, stop that counter? Are you gonna be able to counter wrestle? And like, you can, it's not hard. You just gotta, like, it's not hard. Yeah. But you know, I've been training these little fucking, you know, these little terrorists forever, so it's like, I just gotta know how to do it.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.